Hey Pokemon trainers, Maniac here with GameAccess.net. This past weekend was the Pokemon World Championships in Washington D.C. in my home turf of the United States of America. It was an epic 3-day event, 2 of which were streamed live on Twitch TV, where the best across the entire world in both the Pokemon trading card game and the Pokemon video game competed to be the very best in their divisions. And I thought it was an awesome event. It was basically taking the Nationals, which happened I believe in Indianapolis, and cranking it up to 11. With tougher competitors, tighter matches, all awesome. Now, if you haven't seen my video on the Pokemon National Championships, which I've done on my YouTube channel, I suggest you take a look at that because I really don't want to retread. The Pokemon World Championships has some of the same problems that the Pokemon National Championships had. In particular, 2 or 3 different things. They also had a lot of successes that the Pokemon National Championships had, which I'll get into later. So, I'll touch briefly on the similarities, and then I'm going to just talk about what I thought about the World Championships. First off, negative. I was going to start with the positives. First off, with the positives that are very similar to the Pokemon National Championships, I thought that the rules of the Pokemon World Championships were quite fair. It was a best 2 out of 3, where they took the best competitors and they put them into an elimination bracket, but only once they took the best stats out of all the wins and losses, basically. So the trainers with the best wins and losses in the tournament were taken to an elimination bracket, the Elite Four, if you will, to basically crown a winner and a runner-up. And I thought that was really fair. The rules for the game were quite fair. 15-minute matches, 2 out of 3, awesome. Just like with the National Championships, Nintendo chose to stream directly off a captured 3DS, so we got to see very good footage of the gameplay, just as you would if you were playing the game or watching the game played on your Nintendo 3DS. I'm going to get into why I thought that was a positive and why I thought it was a negative in just a little bit, but particularly just like with the Nationals, they captured the game directly off one of the competitors' 3DSs. They still had a cap on Pokemon. You had to use level 50 Pokemon, although you could choose any Pokemon you wanted with any moves that would be available to you up to level 50. You could pick 6 Pokemon, 4 of which would be played. It was definitely, and in the end, the winner is chosen. Having it in DC was a really great decision. The arena event center that they had it in was just totally up for the task. That place was packed. I gotta give props to the Pokemon Company for making the decision. In order for people to be in there, they had to have at least qualified just to compete. But they did choose to have a last chance qualifier before the event. So anybody up there that was not up there because they had won previous championships or tournaments did have the chance, if they showed up, just to get into the event and win on a last chance qualifier. I thought that was really good. But if you were like me, who just would want to be there just to spectate, just to watch the people play, they welcomed all spectators. They said, if you want to come in just to watch the matches and you don't want to compete, you just want to come to watch or check it out, you are welcome. And on Saturday and Sunday, they said, it's like, if you just want to come and spectate, come right in. You are welcome to come in and spectate all you want. And I thought that was really awesome that they were welcoming the spectators. A lot of times, when major events are happening, if you want to come to spectate, you're not welcome unless you're paying a good amount of money. And here it seemed like, I don't think they were charging a dime for any spectators to come in. And I really liked that. What was up for grabs was one hell of an awesome looking trophy. The trophy was of a Pikachu holding the trophy. I'm not even joking. The trophy was a Pikachu holding a trophy. So anybody who won got a Pikachu holding a trophy. Awesome. It was different than the Pokemon National trophies, which were basically etched crystal. you can't, you couldn't misplace that. You could say, well, an Edge Crystal trophy is awesome, but from far away, it's tough to tell what is that trophy for if you're looking for it, if it's in a trophy stand along with other trophies. But there is no mistaking a trophy of a Pikachu holding a trophy. Whether it be from far away or close up. The only thing you might have problem is is it a runner-up or is it a first place or what division? You would have to look at it close up to see which division it was for. But all the competitors who won got this same trophy. They would just say something different on the bottom, and I thought that was a great decision. And the runners-up got a Pokemon holding up a silver trophy, which I thought was really fair. So they were giving out trophies for first and second place in every division. They broke it down on age, depending on which division you were in. The juniors, the seniors, and the masters. I thought originally that the seniors were the oldest bracket, but actually it's the masters that were the oldest bracket. Juniors and seniors were, I believe the juniors were anyone before high school. Seniors I would consider high school aged and possibly college age, on the cusp of college age. And masters were anybody born around the time that the Pokemon first came out. So I would be considered basically a master. I thought originally I would be a senior, but actually I'm part of the I would be part of the masters brackets, as would my peers. My peers would all be considered as part of the masters brackets. So I thought that was cool that they were breaking it up in age again. It was not discriminatory. They let people of all ages compete. As long as you qualified, you could compete. I thought that was perfectly fair. It's nice to see that Pokemon was welcoming to all ages. I do appreciate welcoming like that and not being age discriminatory. That was really awesome. Prizes for some of the people competing include scholarship money. Where'd you get this $1,000? Colleges will be like, wait, you got $1,000 from Pokemon. This money is coming from Pokemon. That's awesome. I just thought that was like the coolest thing ever. That they were offering that. There were swag given out. They did have free bags, swag bags, like what I got in PAX East. They had their own Pokemon swag. Awesome logo for the championship tournaments, I gotta say. The logo is of a Pikachu wearing a championship belt, basically going like this. Let's see if Pikachu will do that. The Pikachu here has got very short arms, but it was like a Pikachu doing like this, wearing a championship belt and wearing a cape. I thought that was pretty freaking awesome. I hope some of that swag ends up being sold on PokemonCenter.com because it was pretty cool. They did have a Pokemon Center set up where they were selling Pokemon merchandise, which is great. There are, short of Nintendo World in New York City, there really is no Pokemon Center physically over here. It was nice to have one for 2 days. I thought the commentators from the Pokemon Nationals were back, including guys like the Jay Witts and Justin Flynn and stuff like that. They were all back. It was nice to see them all back. They absolutely knew what they were doing. I thought some of the banter that they had just before the event started was a little bit dry, but once the championship matches were happening, they were completely on the ball talking about all this stuff. Nintendo did hire people who knew what they were talking about. I doubt I could have done a better job myself, but I certainly, if they wanted me, Nintendo, I would love to do like man on the street interviews and stuff like that, or anything like that. I'd love to be able to do any of that stuff. I didn't get a chance really to catch a lot of the opening, but I thought it was pretty cool the way that they were showing how international this is, how that Pokemon has no, it's no limitation on national, no limitation on age. Everybody can be a Pokemon trainer, and I thought that was great. But the closing ceremonies after the champions were awarded, the fact that they had the head of the Pokemon company as well as the director of Pokemon X and Y to give the presentation, to present the trophies to the winners, I thought was awesome. The only thing I would think would be more awesome is if they had brought out Satoshi Tajiri, to the creator of Pokemon, to basically do the presentations or to do the closing. But to have the director of X and Y himself come out and present to the video game winners, and have the head of the Pokemon Company International come out and present to the trading card winners, no complaints there. Certainly awesome to see that they come all the way from Japan to do these presentations. That was just great. No complaints there whatsoever. As for other awesome stuff, there were 2 announcements that were made during the event. First one was that they made an announcement that Mega Slowbro is going to be a Mega Evolution in the Pokemon Generation 3 remakes being done with the Pokemon Generation 6 engine. Alpha, I believe, Alpha, I always get them mixed up, Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, if I remember correctly. So yeah, those will be, that's coming. We already knew that those games, those remakes were coming already though, and Nintendo has been releasing up to this point other evolutions. In fact, I had one on my website just last week of trailers released of evolutions that are coming that were not previously evolutions available in Generation 6. Everybody was really excited about Mega Slowbro though. I thought it had a really cool, the fact that it has the shell covering it I thought was pretty funny. Pretty cool looking, and also really useful, have a heavy defense stat, so props for that. Another thing that I thought that they showed off was an announcement for the video game version or an iOS app for the iPad of the Pokemon trading card game. And unfortunately, they never released a trailer for this, so I never had a chance to put it up on the website. Their trailer may be coming. But yes, an iOS app for the Pokemon trading card game for iPad owners is on its way. From what I saw about the internet response to this, it was very positive, in particular because the majority of comments that I saw of the announcement were from people who had played the Pokemon trading card game on the Game Boy, and were kind of inferring that this was a sequel to that. I don't know if it is or isn't. I think that the Pokemon trading card game iOS app is going to be a iOS version of the current Pokemon Online trading card game that's playable online on your web browser. I don't think it's a direct sequel to that. There was actually a real direct sequel to the Pokemon trading card game on the Game Boy, but it only was released in Japan. Even though there were some press and previews about it for the international press, I don't think it ever got a United States release or a North American or European release. I could be wrong on that, but I know it was never released in North America, although Japan did get it. It's just disappointing because it was a much more advanced game than the first one. It did have a lot of new features and stuff like that, but it never came over here, unfortunately. But it just seems like that game does have a lot of followers over here. I had no idea that a lot of people really liked that particular game, but sure enough, a lot of people were excited to see a new Pokemon trading card game to play. And certainly props, obviously. If it's coming and you want it, download it when it comes out. I'll keep posted on if there's any new news about that on the website or on my YouTube channel. So those were the 2 announcements that they made during it. There was nothing else that was announced. And that is kind of going into a little bit of my disappointments. I know that there were a lot of people that were kind of hoping that there was going to be something else. For those of you who saw my Pokemon National review, you'll remember that I had a problem with one thing in particular, and that was that even though they were directly capturing from the 3DS game, so the Pokemon streams of the video game were not exactly very visually interesting. I'm of a generation which grew up on seeing games come out like Pokemon Stadium and Pokemon Coliseum and Pokemon XD and stuff like that, and we haven't seen games like that in over 10 years, unfortunately, which is a little disappointing. Pokemon Battle Revolution, I think, was the closest thing out there, and it is no longer playable because it's not compatible with the new Pokemon games, but I'll talk about Battle Revolution in just a second. I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. The thing about the Pokemon games is that it wasn't very visually interesting. When I was telling the story, as the unknown camera person was filming me, the unknown camera person did nod in compliance to my thoughts on that. And when I said that the arenas were not really visually interesting, in comparison to some of the Pokemon arenas that we've seen in previous Pokemon games on the previous home consoles. I wish they had done something like that here. I was hoping that maybe they would do it for Worlds. I figured Worlds is a bigger stage. Maybe they're saving that for Worlds. And unfortunately, no, they didn't. They just did exactly what they did for Nationals. And when I was showing the live Twitch streams to the unknown camera person, as well as some of my other friends, live as they were happening with the World's Championship, even they agreed, no, unfortunately, these matches visually were not very visually interesting. Not because the Pokemon didn't look great. The Pokemon models look great. The Pokemon attack effects look great. The status effect looks great. The problem was particularly that the arenas that they were fighting in were not visually interesting. You couldn't see the Pokemon trainers, even though Pokemon trainers were customizable in the Pokemon 6th generation games. They, again, were not really visually interesting being captured directly. At least the multiplayer arenas were not really visually interesting, which was disappointing. I was hoping to see battle arenas that looked like epic coliseums, like you could see in Pokemon Stadium and stuff like that, but they didn't do that here. It would have been nice to have seen them in higher resolutions, like what the Wii U can do and stuff like that, where you could see Wii U gameplay or something like that, where they'd be forced to, even though the mathematics would be identical, it would have been awesome to have seen something special for like the finals, for example, where they could be handed Wii U controllers or something. And the controls would be the same, the mathematics would be the same, but it would be in glorious HD, in full HD arenas that you've never seen before. But the mathematics and the underlying code for the events would still be identical. I would have liked to have seen that. And what better place to make an announcement like, oh, by the way, this game is coming to homes very soon. I mean, you had the whole attention of the world. What better place to say, not only are you seeing something freaking awesome, it's coming to you by Christmas, or it's coming next year or something to the Wii U. You'll be able to pick it up and play your 6th generation Pokemon games on the Wii U, you know, Pokemon on the Wii U, basically. It would be awesome to see that, but unfortunately, no, they never did that. The odd thing to postscript about that was shortly after the World's event was over, I believe the Pokemon Company Japan did make an announcement, or somebody made an announcement on behalf of Pokemon, that there was going to be a huge Pokemon announcement on the 26th of this month. That's cutting it a little close, basically. I mean, why didn't they just make the announcement while they had Worlds? Why are they stepping up to make this announcement now? Or why were they waiting to make the announcement, or basically bracing people for this announcement? We don't know what this announcement is going to be. It's highly unlikely that it's going to be a new Pokemon game, like a generation game, like Generation 7 or something, because they're still working on Pokemon Alpha Sapphire and Omega Ruby. Highly unlikely that it's going to be that. But I think that the major comments on this was that they're going to do, at least there's a hope online that they're going to do like a new version of Pokemon Battle Revolution or something, or Pokemon Stadium, or a new version of that. It would be awesome to see that. Just if we're you know, like I said, Pokemon Battle Revolution was probably the last game you could consider that would be of that series. It was designed to pick your Pokemon for online battles. There was no single player at all. Unlike Pokemon XD and Pokemon Coliseum had full single-player campaigns. It would have been nice to have seen a remake of those. I would have loved to have seen a Pokemon XD or Coliseum remake. I had no idea that Pokemon Coliseum or Pokemon XD even had single-player campaigns, but they do. And unfortunately, those games are hard to come by now and not playable on the Wii U. So there's not a chance of that happening. So, in Pokemon Battle Revolution, with Wii's online capabilities being shut down earlier this year, there's no way to play that game online, nor was the game compatible with Pokemon Black or Pokemon White. I think it was pretty much a cutoff at Pokemon Diamond and Pearl. So any of the Pokemon, any more recent Pokemon games were not compatible with it. You'd need to have a new Pokemon battle game for the Wii U. And unfortunately, there has not been one or any announcements of one short of Pokemon Rumble, which is a different series. So I'm kind of hoping that we get to see something like that. It would have been nice if they had done it for Pokemon Worlds. But I'm hoping, and if they do make this announcement, you'll be sure I'll be talking about it either on my website or here on my YouTube channel. I would love to see a new Pokemon game. Even if they just re-release or bring it to the Virtual Console, some of the earlier games, I would still be happy with that. I would still purchase that for download on my Wii U. It's just awesome. It would be awesome to see that sort of thing. Once again, commentators were great. It was nice to see everybody back. Could not have done a better job myself, although I certainly would have tried. Some of the I guess you would call these like on the man on the street interviews were a little bit hit or miss. Particularly probably because they picked people to interview that kind of shied up the second that they were on camera. There's something. But there was one that I thought was really awesome where they were interviewing a guy's brother that was just enormous. And he was talking about his brother playing the trading card game, but he was retired. And that was a pretty awesome interview. I like that interview. What else? One other thing I wanted to mention was that there was way too much dead air on those feeds. I do appreciate that the Pokemon Company did stream the entire event. For 2 days they streamed it all. But it felt to me like there were hours of dead air in between the segments. Either it'd be in between the battles or when they're setting up. There would be stretches of at least an hour where there was nothing on the screen except a repetitive chiptune that was not a Pokemon theme. And, or at least it didn't sound like the Pokemon theme I was familiar with. And Mega Charizard X and Mega Charizard Y with We'll Be Right Back. That was the majority of what appeared to be on that screen. It would have been nice if they had put bumpers or trailers or had even gone back to the Jay Witts and the Justin Flynn or something to talk. When I was at Quinnicon this past year, Quinnicon actually had a Pokemon Center panel, which was basically an hours-long stretch where they welcomed all Pokemon trainers and had them just battle each other for an hour. Anybody who wanted to battle each other was welcome to battle each other in that room, so that people who wanted to battle or street pass or anything like that could battle. And the moderators, who were Quinnicon staff, which is fine, the moderators of that panel, basically really had nothing to do. They were just basically there just to judge or whatever, or to referee if necessary. Which is fine. Pokemon Worlds did have referees on stage at all times when there were competitors out there. But there was nobody shooting the breeze. After a while they kind of got tired of that and they realized, no, we should probably have something else. So they started shooting the breeze and talking Pokemon and doing a little bit of Pokemon trivia. What I said they should have done, and I actually talked to the organizers after the event, and they were more than receptive to my comments, where I told them that I wanted there to be a, I wanted there to be, this panel took place in what would be considered a high-tech room, which had computer access, it had a projector, it had a sound system so they could play something on a projector if they needed to. The Pokemon Bridge people were using it to play their bridged videos and stuff like that, so it was available in the room. I said what would have been cool is if they had a background where they were showing some of the matches happening as they did live. Worlds did that. Worlds did actually have the, for the spectators that were there to play, I'm sorry, the spectators that were there just to watch, they did have a live feed going on of that event, but they couldn't do that because there's no way on a Wii, on this, there's just no way to capture off of this thing. There's no video output, and if you want to have a video output, you've got to mod it, which could have the danger of breaking your system. So there's that. That was a bit of an issue, I think. But they did say Twitch Plays Pokemon was going on at the time. There was other stuff that they could put up on the screen. Even they acknowledged, no, we may not be able to do this, but we could be able to do maybe a Twitch feed or some other type of match, or even they used the E word. I didn't use the E word, but they said the possibility of maybe even using the E word was something that could be available to them. I'm not going, I'm not saying that, but these were just ideas. They didn't do it, obviously, but having the Twitch Plays feed up would have been cool, or having like some other type of match that they were competing in on a device that could be used for video output would have been nice, or something like that. So here's my thoughts on Pokemon Worlds. In short, It was an awesome 2 days, but there was a lot more that I think that the Pokemon Company could have done. It was certainly more awesome and epic than Nationals. The matches were tighter, the trophies were more awesome. The commentators were totally on the ball in both cases, but there were two things if I had to stand out. One, they didn't make any big announcements for anything along the lines of a future Pokemon Stadium title, or anything along the lines of, and there was just way too much dead air. Way too much dead air. Obviously, if you were there at the event, you would have no dead air to worry about at all. You could watch any competitions you'd want. You could, you know, go shopping at the Pokemon Center or something like that. Well, that was where you could just street pass for hours. I'm sure there were a lot of people there just to street pass. That would have been awesome to do. But otherwise, I'm really excited it happens. Hope it happens once again. DC's a great, you know, you want to have it again in DC, that's great. Other venues, I mean, it's nice when things like this happen on my coast, the East Coast. Nothing really ever happens here, but when it does, I'm always appreciative. It would have been really nice to see in the future maybe a, you know, one of these events happening in New York, or one of these events happening, you know, closer to me. But you know what? DC, you want to have it in DC again, I'm all for it. It was an awesome spot. It looked like a really cool venue, and everybody seemed to really love the floating Pikachu. So that's my take on the Pokemon World Championship. Until next time, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. If there's ever any announcements that are going to be happening on the 26th, I'll be sure to keep you guys posted on it. Until next time, guys, this is Maniac with my pet Pikachu, trying to be the very best like no one ever was. Take care. Maniac, over and out.